extra orders who believe there be none left. This is not a drill, this is real, and it's not a threat. I am in the city with my foot on the last deck. The weapon is the word and the voice is the fighter jet. Mikasa extra orders who believe there be none left. This is not a drill, this is real, and it's not a threat. I am in the city with my foot on the last deck. The weapon is the word and the voice is the fighter jet. Mikasa extra orders who believe there be none left. This is not a drill, this is real, and it's not a threat. I am in the city with my foot on the last deck. The weapon is the word and the voice is the fighter jet. Mikasa extra orders who believe there be none left. This is not a drill, this is real, and it's not a threat.
Excellency, you the boss, but you're looking like lost. Son, you don't rep the cross, cause you ain't paid the cost. How are you super fresh?
Welcome to the Excellency Guild Show here on Power of Purpose Radio. My name is Kevin Sullivan. I am your host. Today, we're going to be talking about the Agile Commerce and Learning Center, nicknamed Lord Egypt. So I've been away from the show for a while. My co-host, David Roger, has been holding down the fort. I give a whole lot of props to him for helping me make this thing a success. So he's been talking about a few things that speaks to the nuts and the bolts of what we're doing with the Excellency Guild nonprofit. He spoke about preparing for the 21st century. He spoke about pleasure versus suffering. And he also spoke about the perpetual state of adolescence. And in that show, he talked about raising men and women in a world of arrested development. So if you want to go back and check out those shows, feel free. And he goes into the nuts and bolts of what we're trying to do with the Excellency Guild nonprofit. So today, I'm here, and I'm going to be talking about the overarching grand goal slash scheme slash idea slash concept slash vision slash et cetera, for what we're trying to do. So it's something called the Agile Commerce and Learning Center. And we're nicknaming it Lord Egypt because we in Baltimore and everybody say Lord whatever. Lord this, Lord that, Lord that. And we have a picture of that too that we're going to put up. We're going to put up on the screen for you shortly. But basically, here's how it all started. One day, I was asleep in my house, minding my business, and I got this unction, from within. And it told me to grab a pen, and it told me to grab a piece of paper and told me to get in my car. So I got in my car, got my pen and piece of paper, and I ended up at this piece of real estate in Baltimore City. And I was looking at the piece of real estate, and I was saying, okay, God, why you got me over here? Why you sending me over here? What you trying to say, what you need me to do? So basically, he was saying that, I went to school, for those who don't know, I went to school for civil engineering technology. I got a BS in applied mathematics, and I have a master's in transportation with a concentration of planning and management. So he was saying, I didn't send you to school for nothing. He said, that's why I got you out here. I got you out here doing these things because I know you have the skill set to get the job done. So he said, when you was working for the Department of Transportation and you was the chair of the Transportation Impact Study Committee for the entire city of Baltimore, I had you there for a reason. I wanted you to learn things. I wanted you to gather competencies. I wanted you to understand emotional intelligence. I wanted you to understand how to speak to a large crowd. I wanted you to know how to work contracts, and I wanted you to be able to deal with people in different corporations and understand legislation, etc. And while you were there, you also sat on the City Planning Development Review Board. So while on that board, I was able to see, okay, this is what happens when they have a piece of land and they don't know what to do with the piece of land, and they have people that come through and they say, okay, this is our proposal. This is what we want to do for the city because there's a population of people there, and we've met with them over the last 6 months, And these people in this community, they said, we want to have this. You know, we want a butcher store here. We want a fish market here. We want a private school here. We want a water park over here. So basically, all of the ideas come together. It comes from the people in the community that they want to help. So I'm standing in my I'm sitting in my car. I get out of my car and I started to walk this piece of real estate. So I'm walking around and I'm looking at everything and I'm saying, okay, all right. So what you saying? What we need to do over here? And he's kind of like letting me know. He said, okay, the illuminated genius school that I told you that I want you to build, I want you to put that over here, right? I said, okay, all right. So wrote that down. He said, okay, that Excellency Guild Club that I want you to do, I want you to put that on this piece of the land. I said, okay, all right, I see that. So I'm making mental notes. And he said, okay, all right, that gas station, that I want you to put together, and that bank that I want you to put together for this particular community and these restaurants, I want you to put all of that over here. And he also showed me about a marketplace that he wanted me to put together. And he said, okay, I want you to put this marketplace over here. So I gathered everything together and I drew up a little sketch. And we're gonna put the sketch up on the screen for y'all in a second. But basically, what we're doing is we're calling this thing the Agile Commerce and Learning Center, and we're nicknaming it Little Egypt or Lower Egypt in Baltimore. If you're in Baltimore, you don't say little, you say lower. So it's Lower Egypt. So for those who want to know what Agile is the mother corporation for all of the companies that I've established over the last couple of years. So everything will fall underneath the Agile umbrella. As you can see, I have on the Agile hoodie. I have on the Agile headband, just representing the fashion side of the things that we're going to be doing with our company. So basically Basically, what I want to say today is that if you can see it, then you can conceive it. I want to make sure I stress that. I know it's kind of cliche. You've heard millions of people say this before, but I'm saying it now. If you can see it, then you can conceive it. So basically, when I had the unction to go out and to do what I was doing as far as my reconnaissance, looking at this piece of land, I was saying to myself, before I got there, I was saying to myself, okay, why is it that you want me to do something? Like how am I going to pull this off? How am I going to get this done? I don't even know how it's supposed to look. I don't know why you got me doing certain things. I'm basically out here walking on the water, and I just have faith in you. So what happened is after I went out to the piece of the land and I drew up the sketch, God told me, he said, now you don't have an excuse. He said, before you had an excuse, because you was in the dark about what I was trying to show you. But he said, now you got a pencil and a pad, you got a sheet of paper, you got a sketch, you got an outline, you got a strategy, you got a name, you got people backing you, and now you don't have an excuse. And the reason why I don't have an excuse is because I can see it now. At first I couldn't see it, I really couldn't. Like, I started writing my book in 2012. It was called Heaven's Ambassador. And I said, okay, I'm gonna write the book. You want me to write a book? I'm gonna write the book. And I'm gonna do what I'm supposed to do with my book. So I wrote my book. I hand sold about 1,000 copies of them. I got a good response from everybody, and I understood that, okay, Heaven's Ambassador, which is the title of my book, is called Heaven's Ambassador. That's what he want me to be, right? So basically, with that book, he was saying, okay, this is your foundation, Kevin. This is going to be your foundation. You're going to have to know everything about ambassadorship in order to get to where you need to go, right? So now I'm 5 years down the line. The first thing I did was write Heaven's Ambassador. So for the past 5 years, I have been an example of what I have written in Heaven's Ambassador. You know, I've been out in the forefront. I've been using faith. I've been showing love. I've understand the principles of hard work, which is faith without works is dead. I've been prayerful. I've been a covenant-keeping person. So all of these things that's in the chapters of that book, I've been living and walking that out. So that was the first thing that he gave me. And I didn't realize how that was connected to what I was going to be doing 5 years down the line. So that's what I did first. Okay, so that's Heaven's Ambassador. And that comes underneath the Illuminated Genius Multimedia Group company that I created. Okay, after I did the book, I was fortunate enough and blessed enough to be a part of a congregation called Maximum Life Christian Center. I think they're called Life Vision now, in Baltimore City. And I was able to appreciate music and musicians and sounds and worship and just giving glory to God when I went to that church. So while I was there, he was like, okay, this is also another thing that I need you to do for me. You know, I need for you to step up. You know, I need for you to understand that just like Caleb and Joshua, when they were looking into the promised land, the first hurdle that they had to overcome was Jericho. And they used music to win that city for God. So he said, I want you to start a platform, a music platform underneath Illuminated Genius. And with that music platform, you are going to take cities for God, just like they took Jericho. So that's what I did. You know, I started making music. I started writing songs. I started working with different artists. I started going in the booth. I started honing my craft and mastering my craft as a musician. So now I have an album out, a couple albums out right now, and I'm working on my third album. And that falls underneath Illuminated Genius Multimedia Group. So that's the books, and that's the music, and I'm also doing movie scripts. As a matter of fact, the album that I'm dropping next is basically a soundtrack to a movie script that I'm writing called The Excellency Guild, which leads us to the Excellency Guild nonprofit. So I have the Agile Corporation. I have Illuminated Genius underneath that. That's music, that's books, and that's movie scripts. And now we're moving forward with Excellency Guild. That's the nonprofit. So that's what you see here. That's what I'm talking about right now, the nonprofit. That's how we're going to reach out to the cities, whether it be Baltimore, whether it be D.C., whether it be Raleigh, whether it be Mississippi. Wherever we go, that's how we're going to reach out to the cities. We're going to use our nonprofit in order to bring together the different communities across the city, the different community associations, the different organizations, the different social groups, the different houses of education, historically black colleges, historically black businesses. We're going to bring everybody together, and we're going to talk about common sense concepts and ideas as far as how we're going to take our children, how are we going to train our children, how we're going to perpetuate a community conscious that's going to last forever. So that's what Excellency Guild is about. So as you can see, we're kind of like moving forward in an organized fashion to get a greater goal accomplished. So when I'm standing out on this piece of land and I'm looking at what he's showing me, now I'm seeing how all the pieces are coming together. So we got the writing side to what we do. We got the music side to what we do. We got the nonprofit side to what we do. And now we're gonna move forward with what we're calling the Agile Commerce and Learning Center. And in the city of Baltimore, it's going to be nicknamed Lower Egypt, right? So the first part of the Commerce Center, we're calling it the Agile Marketplace. It's going to be a marketplace similar to what you see when you go to like an outlet, or similar to what you see when you go to a mall. It's going to be that kind of marketplace, but it's going to be what we call a multifaceted development. So at this place, you're going to have a grocer there. You're going to have a health, wellness, and beauty products being sold there. You're going to have household appliances sold there, furniture, supplies sold there. You're going to have fashion, men, women, children, and jewelry sold there. We're going to have electronics and entertainment sold there. And we're going to have restaurants, and we're going to have office space there. And we're also going to have a bank, and we're also going to have a gas station there. So that's the Commerce Center. That's the Agile Marketplace. And as you can see in the description, in the top right-hand corner, it's sort of like right there. In the top right-hand corner, you see that there's a pyramid-shaped building, right? And it has parking all around it. And right in front of it, you see the place where there's going to be statues, and there's a place where there's going to be a water fountain. Now this is going to be the centerpiece of the Agile Commerce and Learning Center, and we're calling that the Agile Marketplace. So it's three-sided, just like a pyramid is. So when you go in on one side, it's just going to be groceries, health and wellness, and beauty projects, beauty products. And then you're going to go in on the other side, it's going to be household appliances, furniture, and building supplies. And then you're going to go in on the other side, and you're going to see electronics and entertainment, right? So that's all on the first level. And then when you get up on the second level, that's where we're going to have our fashion at. We're going to have all the fashion, the men's clothes, the women's clothes, the children's clothes, the jewelry. Everything's going to be on the second level in that building, right? So when you leave out of that main building and you walk straight, you'll be able to see, well, they have also a restaurant there. They have a gas station there. They have a bank there. And everything that you see here is going to be minority-owned things, So it's going to be a situation where the bank is a bank that is owned by somebody that you know in your community, right? It's going to be the gas station is going to be owned by some family that you know in your community. There's going to be a restaurant that's there that's going to be owned by somebody that you know in your community, right? And the actual primary facility, which is the triangle-shaped building, that's going to be a place where you want to have people that have products in Baltimore who have like health and wellness products, beauty products, people who make furniture and supplies, children and adults who are into fashion and they have their own clothing lines, etc. All of that is going to be a Baltimore based facility. And it's going to be something that we can call our own. Because as you know, you look around the city and you see developments and you say, okay, all right, well, they just put a new development down on Boston Street, okay? And when you go down there, you see, okay, they got a Target, they got a Mission Barbecue, they got this, they got that. But they got all those things because the people living in that community say, you know what? This is the stuff that we want. So when you build this thing, these are the stuff that we want to go and shop, and these are the things that we want to go and promote, right? So that's what happens. You know, the people say, okay, we want that. And when they come to build it, they build that for those people, right? And then you can go other places in Baltimore, little small areas in Baltimore, and you can see where folks have kind of like they've had communities there, and then they kind of like retrofitted buildings, and they brought in like a pizza parlor, and they brought in like a condo unit, and they brought in a hairstylist, a hair salon, and they brought in a barbershop and all of these things, but it just serves that small community, that 3-block community, right? So basically, this is what we're going to be doing with the Agile Commerce and Learning Center. We're going to be following the blueprint. It's nothing new. If they can do it and serve their small community and their demographics, you know, whether it be the Mexican demographic, whether it be the Caucasian demographic, whether it be the young yuppie, young up-and-coming professional demographic, whether it be the cultural arts demographic, if they can say, okay, you know what, this is what we're going to do in this community to serve this group of people, then we can do the same thing. And we are going to do the same thing. It ain't no doubts about that. We are going to do the same thing. So this Agile Commerce and Learning Center is a sketch. It's a blueprint. It's an idea. It's a vision. It's a thought process. It's something that we are going to be focusing in on with a laser sight in order to get this done for a particular community in Baltimore. And basically, the marketplace, across from the marketplace, is going to be the Learning Center. And with the Learning Center, you've probably heard me talk about the Illuminated Genius Academy, a PK to 8 school and an early learning center. And basically, the curriculum there is going to be entrepreneurship. So all of the kids that's coming up, you know, in the city of Baltimore who want to learn about entrepreneurship, they can come to this academy. We're going to be learning about culinary arts because it's time out right now for people to tell us what we should buy, you know, the type of clothes we should wear. Just because, you know, this person wearing it in Hollywood and that person wearing it in Hollywood and that person wearing it wherever they're wearing it, they're saying, okay, they're trying to program and say, okay, well, you got to wear that. No, we don't got to wear that. We're going to wear what we want to wear. And the same thing about culinary arts. We're going to teach our kids about culinary arts, about fine dining. So just because you bring a fast food restaurant in our neighborhood, that doesn't mean that we got to eat that. You know, you're not going to tell us what to wear. You're not going to tell us what to eat no more. We're going to bring up our own restaurants. We're going to bring up our own marketplaces. And we're going to fix our own food because we know the kind of diet that we're supposed to have. So we're going to be teaching entrepreneurship. We're going to be teaching culinary arts. We're going to be teaching finance because our kids need to understand about finances, how to save money, how to make money, how to earn money, the importance of money. We're going to teach them about fashion and design, because fashion and design is a big part of our culture as black people. So we're going to teach them about fashion and design at this school. We're going to teach them about civic engagement, because we can't have our kids out here thinking that they can't be a part of the community. You know, they don't have to understand what's going on down the block. They don't have to understand what's going on down in Annapolis. That don't matter to them. Nah, it matters to you, because those decisions is going to affect you and it's going to affect your kids. So we're going to be teaching them about civic engagement and community consciousness and community development. And we're also going to be teaching them about entertainment, because you can't have life without having fun. You gotta have fun in life. You can't you can't be so serious. You can't be so high-minded that you can't laugh, that you can't create music, that you can't write a movie, that you can't participate in a play, that you can't build a sculpture or paint a painting or do some spoken word. So we're going to teach about entertainment. We're going to go into music. We're going to go into dance. We're going to go into sports. We're going to go into acting. That's what we're doing at the Learning Center. And basically, we're going to have something called the Excellency Guild Club. And this is also another part of the Agile Commerce and Learning Center. And this is something that I've been talking about in a couple interviews. And the club is basically, it's going to be set up something like a Boys and Girls Club, but it's going to be better than the Boys and Girls Club. So the club is going to be right across the street. It's going to be right across the street from the academy. So when kids get out of school, we're going to have after school tutoring there. We're going to have public speaking training, because all of our kids are going to be able to hold a mic. All of them going to be able to stand up straight and look somebody in the eye and hold a conversation and be able to articulate themselves on any stage, whether it be the stage of their home, whether it be the stage of their corner, the stage of whether it be any kind of stage, they're going to be able to articulate themselves. And that's what we're going to teach at the Excellency Guild Club. Then we're going to have a book writing and training aspect of the club. And then on the bottom floor of the club, we're going to have a skating rink. We're going to have arcades. We're going to have chess tournaments. And we're going to have table games. And that's a part of the Learning Center. And last but not least, because the Excellency Guild brand is about community consciousness, we're going to develop what we're calling a community consciousness calendar. So right now, I'm working on a calendar. I'm looking at Black history, and I'm going through our history, and I'm looking at all of the great figures in our history. And what we're going to do, we're going to set up a calendar, and we're going to have 365 days of celebration. They're not going to tell us when we can have a holiday. They're not going to tell us when we can celebrate one of our own. They're not going to do that no more. You know, so this is what we're doing with the Excellency Guild, the Excellency Guild brand. So this community conscious calendar, we're going to have 365 days of celebration, right? And this is something that's going to be spread out across the nation. It's starting here in Baltimore, but we spreading this across the nation. So every day, January 1st, January 2nd, January 3rd, March, it don't matter. There's going to be a celebration for some Black figure every single day of every year once we start this thing. And it's never going to stop, because we're pulling together and we're understanding how important community consciousness is. And if you are of another demographic, if you are of another race, then you should applaud. You should applaud Black America. You should be happy for us right now, because when we come up and we understand how great we are, we in essence pull the whole globe up. Because when we do better, then everybody do better at the same time, because we have no weak link when it comes to education, when it comes to family, when it comes to finance, when it comes to teaching teaching our children how to love one another and how to uplift one another. So that's what we're going to do there. And we also going to have what we call a God Brothers Pack. If y'all been following me, I actually have a huge song. It's called I'm With My God Brothers. And in that song, I talk about when it's time for the community to come together, everybody got to be at the table. We're going to have the young people at the table, the old people at the table, the rich people at the table, the poor people at the table. We're going to have the clergy at the table. We're going to have our street brothers at the table, people in gangs at the table. We all going to be at the table. Why we all going to be at the table? Because we all got mothers. We all got brothers. We all got sisters. We all got fathers. And like everybody understands that everybody has a soul. Just because he don't go to church every day like you, it don't mean that he don't got a soul. Just because he don't worship the way you worship, it don't mean he don't got a soul. Everybody got a soul. So this God Brothers compact that we bringing to the table is going to be a compact between the Agile Commerce and Learning Center group and the community that it sits in, the community that it rests in. What we're going to do is we're going to bring the people from the community, the so-called outcasts, the so-called thugs, the so-called street people. In addition to the civilians and the non-street people and the church folk and the regular 9-to-5, the blue-collar people, we also going to bring them in. And we're going to have a conversation with them. And we're going to say, okay, we got this community, this brand new community that we built, and we're going to make an agreement with y'all, okay? Inside this community and within a 2-block radius of this community, we don't want no killings going on over here. We don't want no robberies. We don't want no theft. We don't want no robbery going on over here. And we're going to bring them to the table. We're going to put them on boards. We're going to give them jobs. You know, we're going to actually show love. People talk about showing love and doing this and doing that, but they don't really understand that you really got to show love if you want to show love. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to have a God Brother compact. We're going to come together, and what we're going to do is we're going to try to spread that mindset across the whole city. Because if we can do that within this particular community and then the 2-block radius of that, and then if we can spread that across the whole city, block by block, we can have an understanding, block by block. We can have a get together. We can have sit downs. We can have trade-offs too. You know, we can say, okay, we need y'all to work with us because y'all might have some derelict soldiers out there. Y'all might have some disrespectful gang members out here that want to do their own thing, but we're trying to bring peace in the community. So we'll trade off with you guys, okay? We'll have you guys go out, okay, and be able to settle those disputes for us in a respectable manner, but at the same time, we'll be able to give back to some of the things that y'all want to have in the community. You know, y'all might want to have an amphitheater in the community so y'all can have summer concerts when y'all want to have summer concerts. Just like they do at Pier 6 in Baltimore. And just like they do at some of these other places where they have concerts and they bring everybody in from outside of the city, but then we got to fight as musicians to have our own concerts to get on those stages and stuff. It shouldn't be that way. So we can make a trade-off. You do something for me, we do something for y'all, and we both have a win-win situation, right? So we have that going on at the Agile Commerce and Learning Center, and we're going to nickname this thing Little Egypt. That's right, Little Egypt. You heard of Little Italy, you heard of Chinatown, you heard of Greek Town, you heard of all of those things. Well, now you're going to hear Little Egypt, right? And that's what we're going to do. And I don't want people to get it twisted either, because we're going to hold people accountable too, because we have too many churches in the city of Baltimore, like on every city block, but at the same time, these churches are going to have to understand, all right, we have leverage as churches. We have parishioners. We have members. we have power as churches in these communities, right? But they got to understand we can't just keep this power to ourselves no more. We can't do it. So instead of having this liquor store on the corner, these churches are going to have to come together and say, you know what? Nah, we're not going to do that. We're going to leverage our power, and whatever the name of our church, we're going to have we're going to have a community corner store, but it's going to be named after our church. And we're going to be selling these type of products. It's going to be stuff that's healthy. You know, it's going to be affordable things for the kids in our community. You know, we're going to have snow cones there. You know, we're going to have a grill outside. You know, we're going to have we're going to sell sandwiches in the morning. You know, we actually going to sell breakfast in the morning for kids going to school, and it's not going to be mad cheap. It's not going to be greasy. You know, it's not going to be some stuff, you know, that we don't even know if they dropped it on the floor or not. It's not going to be no old stuff that they had in boxes for months and stuff like that. Nah, because the church is going to leverage their power, and they're going to put stores in the community. It's not enough just to have churches in the community. We got to have we got to have stores in that community. You know, no disrespect to our Asian counterparts and all our other counterparts, but we have a different diet, and we're not going to eat what y'all have in our communities just because that's the only thing there, because y'all don't got no competition. We're going to start putting competition in the community, just like how it is when my brothers are on the streets. You can't just walk up on any block and say, okay, well, I'm going to sling some dope here. Nah, you're not going to do that. That's not the name of the game. You know, they not just going to let you come sell anything on their block. And that's the attitude that we're going to have in our community. Nah, you're not just going to come on our block and feed us what you want to feed us. You're not going to come on our block and sell us what you want to sell us. We're not going to have it. And if you come there, then you're going to have to give back to our community. You're going to have to build a park. You're going to have to donate something. You're going to have to donate something. So you're going to have to excuse my passion, because I'm very passionate about what I'm doing, and the people who support me, they know I'm passionate about what I'm doing. I'm not angry. I'm not mad or nothing like that. I'm just passionate about what I'm doing, and I care about the city of Baltimore, and I can see the change, man. We just so close from these walls falling down, man. We've been marching around this city for 6-7 times. You know, on that 7th time, we're going to give a shout, and these walls going to come down. You know, so that's what it's about. I want to thank you all for tuning in to the Excellency Guild, radio show. I want to thank Power Purpose Radio for giving me this outlet. I want to thank Latoya Liddell for believing in me, her and her staff, for giving me this platform to reach Baltimore City and to reach the world with all this love we got to give. And all this love comes from God. So I want to thank God for empowering me and giving me the strength and the courage to do what I need to do. So until we meet again, this is the place where keeping it God meets keeping it real. And that means that we're going to always keep it 100. I love y'all.